Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Orpa, and today I'm going to be going over things that will make a woman think about you non-stop. So most of the videos that I've seen cover this topic come across as pretty manipulative, which I don't like at all. So I wanted to kind of put a healthier spin on this. How can we naturally build attraction? How can we make sure we're not coming on too strong? How can we make sure we're leaving a little bit to be desired? There are definitely some little shifts that you can make to naturally build attraction, and you won't have to force that. Of course, at the end of the day, I want all of you guys to be authentic and show up as your best self. But if you've never dated before and you're watching a video telling you to act a certain way, to be a certain way, you might be a little bit confused, and in the end, you might be self-sabotaging. When you naturally build attraction, often that other person can't help but to think about you when you're not together. At least I know I've definitely been that way before. There are just certain things that make you more memorable. And we want to utilize what we already have to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward and showing up as our best self. So how do you do that? Number one is to be attentive. And there are a few different points on this that I want to touch on. The first one being listening and remembering what she says to you. Being attentive to small details makes you stand out in a good way. Women are incredibly attentive to detail, and I think that's why we notice this when a man does it, because we are this way too. So you really want to be present and give her your full attention when you're together. If you're constantly having surface-level conversations, there's really nothing meaningful or memorable about that. So again, making sure that you're being present and listening to what the other person is saying to you, instead of just thinking about what you're going to say next, is incredibly important. You really want to listen to what the other person is saying, and in return, you'll have a better, deeper conversation because you'll be genuinely listening. The secret recipe for a memorable date is a good conversation. And I've actually done an entire video about how to have a good conversation with a woman. If you are someone who has no idea where to start with this, that would be a really great video for you to check out. So I'll leave a link down in the video description. So again, be attentive, be present, listen, have those deep conversations, remember something she says to you, and bring it up after the date when you're texting or something, or the next time you see her, and she will be impressed. Number two, independent equals attractive. The absolute last thing you want to do is be needy and clingy. This is a surefire way to kill attraction and send her running to never think about you again. You really want to have your own life going on and be an independent guy. You should have your own purpose and passions and hobbies and interests and things that you enjoy on your own, so that you aren't always relying on other people to provide that for you. And let me just tell you, as a woman, it is incredibly attractive when a man has his purpose, passions, hobbies, interests, things that he enjoys doing and shares them with you. The more that you're aligned with your purpose and things that bring you joy in life, or really just having your own life going on, the less needy and clingy you will be, because you know that you're fine on your own. So if you have things you enjoy or you're good at, don't be afraid to share that with the other person. It's really attractive when a guy is skillful, when he's interesting. I've done an entire video also on being more interesting, and one of the main points in it is to just do more things in your life, and it makes you more interesting. And another important aspect of being independent is having boundaries. Having boundaries with the person that you're seeing is also really important. So knowing that you wouldn't just drop anything and everything to go see her. I know that sounds very romantic and like something in a movie, but that's not a good or healthy thing to be doing in your relationship from the very beginning. So you really want to make sure you have those boundaries. Say you're a pretty busy guy because you have your own purpose and life and passions going on, but you made time after work on Friday to see her. Maybe you couldn't hang out during the week because, you gotta show up and be your best at work. That's really important to you, but you still made her a priority and made time for her on a Friday after work. This is a good look for you because it shows that you're still willing to make that time, but you aren't willing to neglect everything else in your life for this person that you just met. So again, having those boundaries is incredibly important in the beginning of a relationship, in the end of a relationship, whatever it is. Just having boundaries in your life with everyone is very important for you, your well-being, and your mental health. And it makes you look attractive when you make time for someone, but that person knows that you're busy. She's going to come out of that being like, wow, I know he's so busy. He has all this going on, but he still made time for me on Friday. I must really be important to him. Great sign. Number three, be a gentleman. If you are actively pursuing a girl, being a gentleman makes you stand out in the absolute best way. I promise you she will remember that you opened the door for her or gave you her jacket when she was cold. Small gestures like this seem small, but they're incredibly meaningful, and I promise, as a woman, I promise you, she's going to remember them. And I'll give you an example. On one of me and my boyfriend's very first dates, we were walking outside. It was a little bit of a walk from where we parked to the coffee shop we were going to, and I was cold, and my boyfriend gave me his scarf. I still have the scarf to this day, and I left that date being like, oh my gosh, he gave me his scarf. And I've never forgotten it. And that was about 3 years ago. So I promise even 3 years later, she'll remember. Number 4 is non-physical compliments. So let me start this one off by saying if you compliment someone, it should be genuine. I don't want you guys to lie to get someone to like you, okay? Knowing that, understand that the best kind of compliments don't have to be about something physical. And if you're out with an attractive girl, chances are she hears all the time how pretty she is. Maybe you should compliment her on something else. Wow, you're so hot is probably a compliment that she gets all the time from a million different guys. So if you give her a compliment that stands out, that's different from what everyone else is saying. She's going to remember it. And of course, any compliment is lovely, especially if you genuinely mean it. But try to focus on things that aren't physical and see if she remembers them. I love your energy. You're so down to earth. You're super smart. I love the way you're passionate about whatever she's talking about. I mean, it really could be so many different things that have nothing to do with the way that she looks that she's probably not used to hearing, because I think when we think of compliments, we automatically think of telling someone they're pretty, or we like their shoes, or we like their jacket, or whatever it is. It's normally physical, but I always remember compliments when they're not a compliment that I typically get, or they're a compliment that has nothing to do with the way that I look, because I'm used to hearing that. Some of the best compliments I get on YouTube when I post a video are compliments that have nothing to do with the way that I look. And don't get me wrong, I am flattered to receive any compliments from you guys, but the ones that really stand out to me and make me feel special are the ones that have nothing to do with the way that I look. Maybe it's something about the way that I speak or how much I know about a topic or something like that I'm probably pretty proud of. Those are the compliments that mean the most, and they're often very memorable in comparison to other compliments, so keep that in mind. And number 5, last on my list, is to try something new together. Sometimes I think we can get so caught up in a routine that it feels really nice when we try something new or do something different. So maybe go out on a date you've never been to together, or try something new that neither one of you have done before. It's not so routine and predictable, and will be something a little bit more fun and memorable. And also, trying something new or different is a really great way to bond and to make a deeper connection, because you're both trying something you've never done. You're both learning together, and it's just a really great bonding experience as well, and she's going to remember it. If she's never been to a cooking class before, and you guys go out to a cooking class and you have an incredible time together, she's obviously going to remember it and probably be thinking about it later on. And I don't want to completely knock having a routine, because I am a very routine type of person, and I think that can be great, but sometimes when you do things that are so predictable and you do the same things over and over, you just kind of lose that memorable factor. So trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone, doing something you've never really done before can be really great for building attraction, for getting to know someone on a deeper level, and for being more memorable. And another little tip here that I wanted to talk about is being spontaneous, and being able to think on your feet is something that women find really attractive. When I went out on my first date with my boyfriend, we had just planned to get brunch, and then the date was going really well, so he spontaneously thought of something else that we could do to keep the date going a little bit longer. And I remembered that. I thought it was attractive. And ultimately, it's probably why I'm still with him today, because we just always think of something fun to do together. And I love that aspect of our relationship. So keep this in mind. I'm not saying you have to be doing the craziest things like skydiving or jumping off a building or whatever the heck it is, but just don't be afraid to try something new and think on your feet a little bit. I also did a video with a group of girls, and every single one of them, when I asked them what their best first date was, said something about the guy thinking on his feet and being spontaneous. So I know for a fact that I'm not the only girl that feels that way, and it's something that we find attractive because it comes across very confident. We can rely on you, and you can easily take the lead, which is incredibly attractive. Alright guys, that is all that I have for 5 things that will make a woman think about you nonstop. Again, I feel like every video I've seen on this topic always comes across really manipulative, or like using psychology tricks to get someone to like you. And when someone is right for you, you don't have to do those things. You should just really be showing up as the best version of yourself, which I think is what all of the things on this list kind of encompass, instead of trying to, trick someone or try to be someone that you're not. I don't like that kind of content. I will never promote any of that on my channel. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. If you're dating, if you're new to things and you kind of feel like maybe you're self-sabotaging or aren't having the success that you want, and you want to be memorable and you want to make a good first impression, I think all of these things are a great place to start. So I hope you all found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.